Hey, I'm Terry. This video is on thinking and feeling, or the T and F dichotomy of the MBTI. Like always, I want to stress how much this is about personal preference, and the MBTI is absolutely not in any way about what you actually do in real life. It's about your own personal preferences and what you would prefer to do. Another disclaimer I want to put here is that the MBTI has almost nothing in common with the work of Carl Jung, which is where it originated from. It was altered so drastically by Myers and Briggs and has been morphed so far from Jung's original work that it bears no relation to it other than sharing the same names. They're completely different models in my opinion. It's important to understand this because if you don't, you'll get very confused and you'll have a very hard time understanding what your type is, as you'll be mixing and matching multiple systems together, but it'd be like mashing two completely different jigsaw puzzles together. It just doesn't work. So let's free up our minds a little and accept that the models are completely separate from one another. With that out of the way, on to thinking and feeling within the context of the MBTI. Thinking and feeling are what's called judging functions. Much like how sensation and intuition are both perceiving functions, maybe I should have included that in the last video, these functions are about how we like to make decisions. They're not about how we actually make the decisions themselves, but rather how we would like to make those decisions, or how we would prefer to make decisions in an ideal world. We don't live in an ideal world, but that's what thinking and feeling are about, how we would like to make those decisions. In the context of the MBTI, thinking is essentially about making decisions based on facts, or at least what we perceive to be facts. Feeling is about making decisions based on what people care about. This includes incorporating the perspectives of other people into your decision-making process. Thinking is impersonal. A thinking preference means you're more comfortable making decisions that don't really include people. Things like making decisions about how to fix a problem, or how to build something, or interpreting the law are examples of the domains that the thinking preference is oriented towards. Once people are added into the mix, then the decision-making process is no longer impersonal, and this is where the feeling preference is more comfortable. A feeling preference indicates that you prefer to make decisions that are about or include people and are less focused on facts and figures. Things like making decisions about how to look out for yourself and others, or how to keep your staff happy and motivated, or even just keeping others in mind when you're picking what music to play, are examples of the domains the feeling preference is oriented towards. In Pearson and Norman's I'm Not Crazy, I'm Just Not You, they outline thinkers as being people that are critical, logical and questioning, and feelers as being people that are accepting, fair-minded and seeking consensus. I think this is a fair way to perceive thinking and feeling types. It's not that thinking types are trying to troll you or give you a hard time, they just need to make sure in their own heads, even in the extroverts, that the logic supporting a decision is sound and consistent. When they ask questions, for the most part, they aren't trying to break you down or make you feel bad, they're trying to get you to explain your reasoning so that they can understand it. Feeling types, on the other hand, aren't quite like this. While they may perceive there to be flaws in your logic the same as a thinking type might, feelers are more oriented towards making sure no one is uncomfortable, so they might not call someone out where perhaps they should be called out. They might not question things so openly and instead silently acknowledge that there is problems with what they're hearing. This isn't to say they're weak or afraid to speak up. That's anxiety, and anxiety isn't related to your MBTI type. It means that feeling types prefer not to make you uncomfortable. It's not about themselves being too scared to say anything, and it's not about them being two-faced or any other such drivel like I've read in the type communities. There's a misconception that feeling types are just agreeable, almost as though they're dumb or something. This couldn't be further from the truth. Intelligence plays no role in your MBTI type, and like every other dichotomy, a feeling type's thinking can be far more developed and superior to a thinking type's thinking, as this is about personal preference and not skill levels. A key feature of feeling is context. It's important to understand how much context and the current situation affects feeling types, because it's arguably the way they prefer to make their decisions in the context of what is going on, even in people that prefer introversion over extroversion. Myers-Briggs.org says of feeling, I have a people or communications orientation. I'm concerned with harmony and nervous when it's missing. And I look to what is important to others and express concern for others. There are huge problems here that seem to go unsaid in the type community. This orientation towards people, harmony, and what is important to others means that feeling types can be bullies. It makes more sense that a feeling type would seek to exclude a person from a group that doesn't fit in. It makes more sense that a feeling type would mock someone that stands out from the crowd too much. It makes more sense that a feeling type would be more heartless than a thinking type when it comes to decisions that involve people. If the feeling type feels those people don't fit in, whether that's fitting with the external world and situation or their own internal world doesn't matter. Feeling types seem to get a free pass on just how negative and outright callous they can be when it comes to decisions involving people. In these situations, the feeling types tend to be more invested in their decisions. They are aware of what they're doing, and they are trying to hurt people in ways the thinking type might not even consider. On the flip side, thinking types can have serious issues as well when it comes to making decisions. As thinking types, they rely on facts to make their decisions. This means their decisions are only as good as the facts they have used to make the decision with. It's possible that a thinking type has the wrong facts. It's possible that a thinking type simply believes in their own made-up facts and bases decisions off of those. It's possible that a thinking type isn't very curious and doesn't seek to get the facts that they need before making a decision, and instead makes decisions prematurely and without the relevant data. Thinking types tend to get a free pass when it comes to intelligence or smarts, but I disagree with this, as simply preferring thinking doesn't have anything to do with whether a person is actually good at it or not. Hopefully this analogy is easy to follow, but let's consider comparing musical talent with entertainer skill. What I mean is, say, let's look at how good someone is at singing compared to how entertaining they are to watch. Some people are better at singing than others. Some people are more entertaining to watch than others. Some people are Freddie Mercury and they're better at singing and better at entertaining than others. This is what I mean when I say in this video and others that someone can prefer one dichotomy, say feeling for example, and still have better thinking than a thinker. Some people can be better at singing than entertaining and still be worse at singing than someone that is better at entertaining. The whole MBTI thing isn't about how good you are or anything, it's just about what you prefer. For thinking and feeling, consider, do you prefer to make impersonal decisions based on facts and data, or do you prefer to make decisions that take into account the perspectives of other people? That's really what the MBTI's thinking and feeling dichotomy boiled down to, even for people with an introverted preference. In an ideal world, if you were free to just be who you want to be, not who you are, not who you can be proven to be, if you could just be who you want to be, would you prefer to make decisions based on facts and data, or would you prefer to make decisions that take into account the perspectives of other people? We all do both all day, every day. We're all thinkers, we're all feelers. Some thinkers are bad at thinking, yet make better people-based decisions than some feelers. Some feelers are bullies that make better decisions based on facts and data than thinkers. It's completely about personal preference. If you've got anything to chime in, feel free to leave a comment. If you liked this video and want to see more content, hit the like and subscribe buttons. If you don't, hit that dislike button. That's cool too. I'm out. See you later.